We're going to look at the word law. Okay? The most common Greek word is nomos. That is translated in English as law. And I want you to know we can refer to religious law or secular law. How many of you know, if you ever had a speeding ticket, that was not a religious law? That was a civil law. Well, back then they had one word law, and it could refer to the Torah, or it could refer to just secular law, nothing to do with the Torah. Or it could just refer to principles. For example, I want you to know first, in the Septuagint, is there anyone here who does not know what the Septuagint is? The Septuagint is the scripture, the Torah, written in Greek. A couple hundred years before Christ came, they wanted to have, there were a lot of Jews who spoke Greek and they didn't speak Hebrew. So they wrote a translation of the Torah in the Greek language, and it's called the Septuagint. Okay, so this is the Torah written in Greek. And they had to find a word for Torah. Okay, so here Torah is the word that was in the Torah, and they tried to decide, okay, how are we going to, in the Greek, what Greek word are we going to use for Torah? So they said, okay, let's use nomos. Okay? And when nomos was translated into English, it was translated as law. But that is not a good English translation, because Torah frequently does not mean law at all. For example, Genesis. Is Genesis part of the Torah? But there's no laws mentioned. Okay? Covenants. The covenant with Noah, was that a law? No. I mean, so there's a lot of things about the Torah that have nothing to do with law. What does Torah actually mean? It means instruction or teaching. So Torah does not really equal law. So law is a bad English translation of the Hebrew word Torah. Okay? So everyone say Torah does not equal law. And say Torah means teaching or instruction. So when someone says the Torah is done away with, you say, why would God do away with his teaching and instruction? It's God's teaching. In one sense, we shouldn't even be saying the law of Moses. It's the law of God spoken through Moses. It's his laws. It's his instruction. It's his teaching. Now, here's an example where nomos doesn't always mean law, or law is a bad translation for Torah, always meaning law. Let's look at this. Romans 7:21. The Apostle Paul says, I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present within me. Now, would it make sense to say, I find then Torah, the 5 books of Moses? Let me put it that way. I find then the 5 books of Moses that when I do good, evil is present with me. Doesn't make sense, does it? Okay, so law, when you read the word law, it doesn't always mean Torah or the 5 books of Moses. Let's look at Romans 7:23. He says, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. Do either one of those refer to Torah? Neither one of them refer to Torah. So when you read the word law, you can't always assume it means the first 5 books. Law can mean all kinds of things. He says, and bring me into captivity of the law of sin. Well, here's the third law, a law of sin. That's not referring to the Torah either, which is in my members. So everywhere the word nomos was used when it referred to the Hebrew word Torah, why did they just write the word Torah instead of using the term law? Don't you think that would have made it a lot easier in the New Testament if, when it was specifically referring to the 5 books of Moses, they would have just wrote Torah? Rather than trying to use an English word that doesn't fit or isn't accurate. So that's one of the problems that we have with our translations. They use the word law all the time. And how many of you know mankind in general are lawbreakers? That's not our forte. Oh, let's find some laws, make some up so I can obey.